Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. So I hope I am audible and visible to you. Can I get yes in the comment so that we can start with today's session? So those are watching, please write yes in the comments so that I can know that I am audible to you. Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. I hope I am audible. Can I get yes in the comment? I think I'm audible and visible both to you now. Can I get comments for that? Okay, I think I'm audible now and visible to you. So I'm starting to get many replies now, and we'll be starting very soon. We'll wait for others to join. Already few people have joined. We'll wait in 1-2 minutes and then we are going to be starting. Till the people are joining, what we are going to do, we are not going to waste time. We are just going to be revising what we have done. A short brief discussion of what we have seen yesterday. So initially we have seen different ways to initialize the strings. That was the first. Then we saw about what is getLine, how we can use that. Then we have seen some functions that are inbuilt. That is pushback function, that is popback function, how we can implement that in strings. Then we have talked about string.capacity, capacity of the string, the size, what is the difference between size and the length. We have seen how we can append a string to the another. Then we have seen how we can access the elements in the string using at operator, or you can use basically at, or you can use bracket for that. Okay, we have also seen an important thing, that is substring, and then we have seen about find, how we can use find to find the substring in a string basically. So all these things we have already seen yesterday. We'll be looking into problems that are based on this, and we'll be doing it very quickly. I want you to be more interactive in this session, so I will be asking you again and again the replies or the answers for the questions which I'll be asking throughout this stream. Okay, so I think few people have joined, so I think we can start now. By the time we'll be starting, some people will be joining again, and you can ask your friends to join the session so that they can also get benefit from this session. Okay, so let's start with a very basics question, and this is one of the famous question in the strings. So basically we are given a string. Okay, we are given a string and we can call that as string set geeks. Basically we want just to reverse the string. So that is the very basic question that anyone asks. We'll be seeing different type of approach, how we can optimize that approach, and all these things we'll be looking into this. So our expected answer will be something like this. Okay, so you will be given geeks, and then we'll be what we'll be asking is the answer which we will be expecting is this one, sk or HH. Okay, so that is what we'll be looking into this. So let's see how we can do that. First let us declare a string and initialize some values to the string. So I'm just going to be doing that here. I'm just going to be writing as strings, and then I'm just going to be writing geeks. So that's the basic part that we have done now. String s equals to geeks, and just we want to reverse that string. Okay, so how we can reverse the string? So we can reverse the string basically something like this. What we are going to do, that's the basic two-pointer approach. So what we are going to do, we are going to be having our I here, our j here. Okay, that is the first thing. And then what we will do, we are going to be swapping the first and last. Okay, we are going to be swapping the first and last, and then we'll be moving ahead from first position and coming closer to from the last. Okay, So now we are swapping this. So after swapping, it will be something like this: G, basically S, then E, E, K, G. Then our I will be somewhere here, our J will be somewhere here. Then we will be swapping this too. Then it will be S, K, E, then again E, G. Okay, so that's what we will do. And then we'll be swapping one with itself. If you don't want to do that, we can avoid that as well. Okay, so that's the basic approach that we are going to be using in this. So we'll be just using the swap. We have inbuilt swap function, or you can make of your own. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. I'm just going to be clearing the space here. So let's see. The first will be we are going to be declaring integer I that will be taking the index 0, and then we'll be having, or we can call that as start and end. So that makes more sense when we are solving some problems. So we'll be calling as start, and then we'll be calling that as end. And end is nothing but how we used to find the size of the string, which we have already seen yesterday. So it will be nothing but s dot size. Okay, you can even call the length. Okay, s dot size length minus 1. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now let's see what happened. What has happened now. So we have G double E K S. Okay, we have start, which is at the very starting, and what are the indexes we are dealing with. Now the size for this is 5, and we want the end to be pointing to the index 4 because it is 0 indexed. Okay, so we'll be pointing end here. Now our task is simply to run a while loop to check whether the condition is fulfilled or not. And if let's see what will be the condition when we are going to be writing this while loop. So let's see. So here we are going to be using our while loop. Okay, so we have this while loop, and then the condition which we are going to be writing is st should be less than equals to n. So if that is the case, then we are going to be running the while loop, or even we can do something like this. Okay, st less than equals to n. So that's the part. Okay, now let's see what we can do. First thing is that whenever we are swapping, our condition has been checked here. If that condition is true, then only it is going to be running in while loop. And in while loop, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be swapping the start and the end. Okay, so what thing we are going to be swapping is s of I and s of j. These two things we will be swapping. Okay, so one thing is that we can make a use of swap function. Okay, we can make a So Ritvik, you need to study hard if you want to get a job. It doesn't matter how many backlogs you have, it doesn't matter how many percentage you have, you need to work hard. Okay, so basically we can use a swap function which we already have in C++. Then we can do something like this. Okay, once we are doing what we are going to be doing. Okay, so this is basically not I, this is start, and this is end. Okay, and we are going to be increasing our start by 1. Okay, st++, and then we will be doing end minus minus. Okay, so that's the simple thing which we can do. Or if you want, you can use your own swap function. Okay, you can always write your own swap function, but we have this, we can always make the use of such things. Okay, so that basically help us to save time, plus the efficiency is not distorted. Okay, so here you can see we have done that, and at the end what we are going to be doing, we are going to simply printing our string s. Let us try to run the code and see what we are getting the output. So the output which we are getting is what we expected. Okay, the output which we expected is skeg. That's what we expected. Initially we were having gigs. Now it has been changed to skeg. Hi Utkarsh, hi Monica, good afternoon. So we have this gigs, and that was the first question which we have solved now. If you have any doubts from this, I don't think so we'll be having any doubt because it's very basics. I just wanted to clear some things, so that's why I just use this. Now from here what we can do is we can make that we are using the swap function instead of length we are using size. Anything we can change here, that is not an issue. Okay, let's go to the next part or the next problem which we are going to be solving for today. So that's the palindrome check, whether a string is palindrome or not. So guys, I just want you to those who are people who are watching for first time, what time are you doing? There is a question. Okay, those who don't know what is palindrome, I'm just going to be explaining you. So Utkarsh, I want you to look into this. I'll be just writing a string and I will be telling you whether the string is palindrome or not. For example, let's see this st, or let me take another example. So that example can be something like a b b a. So this is a palindrome. This is a palindrome. A B C B A. This is also palindrome. A B C D. It is not a palindrome. So palindrome is a string which on reverse is the same. For example, if you read from forward or read from backward, these both strings are equal. If you read this string from forward or backward, same. But for this, if you read from forward and from backward, it is different. So that's what we are going to do here. Okay, so just look into this. How we are going to be solving this problem is, so let's just declare a string here. Okay, so here we have string. Okay, so here we have string s. We can call that string as ABBA. And what we are going to do, we are going to be checking condition. So I'll be putting if. Okay, Abhishek, I'm not sure that we can use something like that. I'm not sure. During my placements they were no allowing you to use inbuilt function. Okay, you are asking about placement. So when you are going to be appearing for the placement test or placement interview rounds, in that you can always use this STL things. Okay, so that's not an issue. But when they are going to be taking your interview, that is face-to-face interviews, at that time, for example, they are telling you to sort and show you this program, then you will not be telling like you can use this sort, directly use the sort function. No, you need to tell them how it is working, the sort function. So that's the important thing. Please make a note for that. So we are going to be making a function. Okay, so I'll be writing that as is palindrome. I'm just calling that function and I'm going to be passing that string. So if this function, I'm going to be making this function in a very short while, in a short time. So this function is a boolean type, which means if the string s is a palindrome, then it is going to be returning true. Else it is not going to be returning. Else it is going to be returning false basically. So you can see we are going to be making a function. We can call that as bool. Okay, is palindrome is what we are going to be naming that function. Okay, and in this we have string s, and here we are going to be writing the code. Here we are going to be writing the logic for check whether that string is palindrome or not. So what is the logic? How we are going to be running that? So if it is returning true, I'm just going to be printing that it is a palindrome, or I'm just going to be writing palindrome. Okay, and in else part, what we are going to be writing, it is not a palindrome. Okay, not a palindrome. Okay, so that's there. Now let's see how we can write this program is palindrome. So basically here also we are going to be doing the same thing. We are going to be iterating the string from forward and at the back, and we'll be looking basically we are going to be using two-pointer approach. Okay, so suppose we have this example A B B A. Okay, so we will be starting from here, then we'll be starting from here. We are going to be checking this thing. If this both are equal, if both are equal, then only we are going to be moving forward and we are going to be checking. If they are not equal, in that time we are just going to be returning false. So what is the condition check we are going to be? First we are going to be writing the two things. Yes, we can also make this integer, no issues. We can also make this integer. Okay, that is not an issue. I'm just going to be writing bool because I just want true or false. Okay, so that makes the program little simple and easy to understand. So instead of writing int, like you can return int is nothing but you will be returning 0 or 1. Okay, similar to this only boolean. Okay, instead of writing instead of returning true or false, I'll be returning 1 or 0 if I'm using integer. As simple as that. So I'm just going to be writing boolean. Okay, in boolean what I'm going to be doing is, first I'll be writing I equals to, that is the first index we are going to be getting, that is from 0. Then we are going to be writing j, that is nothing but s dot size minus 1. It means basically it will be pointing to the last. Now what was our how we are going to be checking? Okay, how we are going to be checking? So we are going to be checking something like this. Okay, Arjun, what is the difference between okay, he's asking what is different boolean and integer. So basically boolean is boolean means you will be only returning true or false. Okay, 0 or 1. But integer function can return many things. For example, it can return 1 or anything you can return. You can even return vector in that case. You can return array. Okay, all these things can be written. Basically array will not be written, only the vector part. When you are using vector, we'll be talking about more in depth. But in vector, if you are declaring a function as integer, you can return the whole thing from there. Okay, so that we are going to be talking in the further session. But now boolean is what we need. Arjun, I think the concept is clear to you what I'm trying to explain here. Boolean means true or false. Okay, boolean means true or false. It basically gives true whenever we are meeting some condition which we require, and an else condition it will be returning false. So here you can see we have integer I. So basically while loop, and we are going to be checking if while is I is less than equals to j. Okay, so that's the condition, because whenever we suppose here we have index as 0, 1, 2 and 3, our I will be starting from here, j will be starting from here. So now this condition is there, I is 1 is less than 2. For this condition also b will be checked. But suppose now again in this condition this will go here and this will go here. So j will be something as 1 and I will be 2. Correct. Now I has become greater than j. So we did not need to check again. Otherwise if we are not putting this condition, it will go on decreasing and this will go on increasing. So we are going to be checking the condition, we are going to be terminating from here. So that is the condition which we want to put here. Okay, that is I less than equals to j. Okay, so that's there. Now let us see what we are going to be writing in here. So first thing is we are going to be checking if that is not equal, because if they are not equal we need not to check again. For example, if in the first go only, if in the first go suppose the string is something bad, bad. Okay, now in the first go only b and d are not matching, so need not to check for the a. Okay, suppose b a d is there. Okay, so that is not a need. We met our condition first, that is they both are not equal, then just get out from the function. Okay, get out from the function, we do not need to check for the other things. So that's how we are going to be doing. We are going to be checking that if s of I is not equals to s of j. Okay, if s of I, which means string at I means the first one and j is the last one, so if they are not equal, simply return what we are going to be returning. Arjun, what we are going to be returning? We are going to be returning false in this case. Okay, so that's only the difference. That's only the difference. If you are putting here integer instead of boolean, it will be showing you error. So that is the case. In else condition, if the condition is meeting, which means we'll be not going into this if condition, and I'll be just doing I plus plus and j minus minus. I hope we are getting what you are getting what I am saying. Okay, so I plus plus j minus minus. Hello Satyashri. So you can see that is what we are going to be doing. And at the very end when we are we are not getting any false, or we are not getting into this condition, which means all the value has been checked, this condition is met, which means the string is palindrome. In that case, what we are going to be returning true. Okay, let us try to run the code and see what is the output. I'm just going to be removing all these things so to avoid confusion. So I've just removed that, just going to be decreasing little size so that we can see the whole code, and I'm just going to be running the code. So you can see for the first thing, that is ABBA, the output which we are getting is palindrome. Shashank, the question is very basic. The question is to check whether the string is palindrome or not. I was just explaining the code here. Okay, so that is how we are going to be solving this problem. Okay, I hope Arjun, you got how we are declaring this function and all. If you have any doubts, you can ask now, okay, or else we'll be jumping into the next question. The next question is a very interesting bit and a little tricky question. Yes, so next question is little tricky, and the next question which I'm going to be explaining or basically asking you is, let me just erase this thing so that it is visible. So basically you will be given a string S1 and you will be given S2. Okay, so S1 is nothing but A, B, C and D, and then S2 is nothing but B, C, D, A, and we need to tell whether S2 is a rotation of S1 or not. What I mean by rotation is, if you in a clockwise direction, if you basically in the anti-clockwise direction, if you just rotate this string by 1, so you'll be getting B, C, D, A. Okay, or if you just rotate clockwise by 3 times, first it will be B, C, basically it will be a D, C, D, A, B, C, then it will be C, D, A, B, like this, then you'll be getting B, C, D, A, which is nothing but S2. So basically by rotating this S1, you will be getting S2. So if that is the case, which means S2 is the rotation of S1, in that case we just need to be returning true. In else condition we will be returning false. So is the question very clear to all of you? If it is not clear, I am going to be explaining you again. I think it is almost clear to all of you. I am just going to be removing this function, as we need not need this. We also do not need this. Yes, Shashank. Yeah, so basically what Shashank is telling is that we will always be having one character, okay, one character with odd frequency. Example can be A, B, C, B, A. Okay, you can see we'll be having this as an odd frequency at most, which means at least it can be 0. In this case it is not having any frequency with one odd characters, and it cannot be something like this. Okay, that is at most it will be having only one odd occurring character. I think that's what you are telling, Shashank. So here we have this one. Now this is the rotation one. So in this, what we are going to be doing, we are going to be making a string S1, and then we will be writing something S1. Then the values can be in this is A, B, C, D, and then we'll be having string S2 equals to B, C, D, A. Okay, so that's the example. Now let us check whether the rotation is done. So I'm going to be doing the same thing. So the question is very simple. We have a string S1, we have a string S2. We want to check whether the S2 is the rotation of S1 or not. What I mean by rotation is when you rotate the string in clockwise or anti-clockwise. For example, what can be the rotations of ABCD? First is ABCD, then it can be BCDA, then it can be CDAB, then it can be DABC. Okay, so all these are the rotations of the string S1, and we need to check whether S2 is rotation of S1 or not. So because basically the S2 is nothing but BCDA, and you can see this is all present at the second rotation. Okay, so this is present, which means we are going to be returning true. Another example can be if we take something like ABD and we want ABC, so that is not a possible thing. Okay, even if the length are different, we cannot get the same thing, we cannot get true in that case also. So that is the thing. I hope the question is clear, Shashank. Now let us make the function, and we are going to be naming that function as is rotate, or we can check rotation. We will be calling that as check rotation, or we will be just calling it checker. Okay. So Aniket, again I am going to be explaining you. So we have S1 as A, B, C, D. We have S2 as B, C, D, A. Okay. Then we have, basically we want to tell whether S2 is rotation of S1 or not. Okay, what I mean to say is when you are rotating S1 in any direction, clockwise or anti-clockwise, being the order is managed, or basically order is served, so in that case you need to check whether that is there or not. So I hope the thing is clear, Aniket. Yes, Shashank, that can be the good approach that we can use. Can we think of another approach in which we are going to be solving in without any complications, although it is again the simple approach which you have suggested? So Aniket, I hope you have got the question. The question is very simple. S1, if you rotate, what are the rotation of ABCD? What are the rotation means? If you rotate in a clockwise direction, then what can be forming from this? It will be nothing but BCDA, correct? Again, if you are rotating in anti-clockwise direction, basically, so basically you will be getting CDAB, then you will be getting DABC. So all these are the rotations of this. Now BCDA, we need to check whether in all the rotations BCD is present or not. As simple as that. So you can see that it is present in this position. So that means we are going to be returning true in that case. Okay, so that's what we are going to be checking. Yes, Shashank, that can be done. Yeah, that is another approach that we can do. So basically in this approach, so I hope Shashank's approach is very much clear to all of you guys who are watching. So basically the approach which I am going to be explaining is little trickier. So basically we are going to be checking, I'm just going to be making again the boolean function, checker function. In this we are going to be passing s1 and s2. Okay, if I'll be just passing both strings in this, and if that is, if means the checker is returning true in this, so in that we'll be just printing yes, otherwise I'm just going to be printing no. Okay, so you can see we'll be running this function, and in this I'm just going to be taking the both string, that is s1 string and s2 string. Let me just clear the whole thing. Okay, now you can see we have taken a string and two string. So here is the tricky approach. In this what we are going to be doing is we are going to be appending s1 with s1 itself. We will be creating a temporary string. So suppose the temporary string something will be a, b, c, d. Okay, and then again a, b, c, d. So that's there. We are going to be taking a variable. In this we are going to be adding this. Now we are just going to be checking for the substring. We are going to be using a find function that we have. Okay, so you can see we'll be having bcda. So here we'll be having bcda, correct? So basically that is a substring for this whole string. So in that case we'll be just returning true. If it is not a substring, which means we do not have any matches. But one thing we need to make sure that the length of s1 and s2 remains same, otherwise it will not be true in that case. Okay, so I hope you got it. So we are going to be just making a temporary string temp, we'll be calling that as temp, and then we'll be checking this bcd is present in that string or not, substring or not basically. So how we are going to be doing? So first check will be something related to the length, that if the length of string 1 s1 or s2 are different, then we are going to be returning false in that case. s1 dot length is not equals to s2 dot length. So in that case we'll be just returning false. Okay, so that's one thing. In the second thing, if they are equal, in this case s1 s2 both have the size of 4, which means we will be just checking whether the substring is present is not there or not. So we'll be creating a string, we'll be calling that as temp, and we'll be just adding s1 with the s1 itself. Okay, now the temporary string has been formed is abcd, abcd. Now in this we are going to be just checking whether we have that s1 s2 is present in this temp or not. So how we are going to be checking? I'm just going to be writing a return, because if basically the statement is something like this. So we'll be writing temp dot find function. This find function is what we have studied in the last session. Okay, we have seen some examples how we can use this find function. So if find function, we'll be passing the string which we want to find in that, and if it is not pointing to end pause, which means we have found that. Okay, so I hope that is clear what we have studied in last session. So if that is returning true, we are just going to be returning true. Okay, if it is not pointing to the end pause, which means we have found. If we have found, we'll be getting true. If it is true, we'll be just getting the thing from here. Okay, so that's what we are going to be passing from here. Let's try to run the code and see the output for this. So you can see we are getting yes in this problem. Okay, we are getting yes in the problem. Let's try to give some other example or any other thing. So in this case we will be returning no. Okay, so I hope this is clear to all of you. If you have any doubts regarding this, if you are not getting anything, you can ask me here itself. The string and pause, I think most of you would is getting doubt from here only, that what is string and pause. So basically in a string, whenever you are searching some pattern, if that pattern is not available, then it will be pointing, the iterator will be pointing to the end pause. Okay, for string it is end pause. Similar to that, we have seen vector.end. Whenever we are not finding anything, we'll be just pointing to the v.end, which we have seen in the last session. I think most of you have watched that. Okay. Okay, I think from here, what are they returning? So basically we are using this find function in this temporary, and if we are getting means we will be not pointing to this. Okay, we will not be pointing, which means we are be returning true in this case. Okay. So let's jump to the next question now. I hope everything is clear. If you have not found anything, you can tell me here itself. So that is the last question for today, and this question is again a simple and very important and a fundamental question when we talk about strings. So I just removed that, and I'm just going to be removing this again. So basically we are given a string. Okay, basically we are given a string s, and we can say something like abcd, something like this, and we want to find the frequencies of the characters in this. How we are going to be seeing it, how we are going to be finding. For example, a appeared 2 times, b appeared 2 times, like this. Okay, we want to know all the frequencies that are present in this string. So that is the important question, how we are going to be doing that, and we'll be using a map for this. That's the thing, and by this question I'll be explaining you how we can use map to find the frequencies, how we can store them, how we can print them, how we can access the elements. So that's what we are going to be doing. So for that, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be making a map. Okay, we are going to be making a map, and then we'll be writing character comma integer, and we can call that as map mp. Okay, now this map which we have created, stores 2 things, that is key and value. Key is nothing but the characters which we have here, and the value is nothing but the frequencies that is present there. Okay, for example, a appeared 2 times, we are going to be writing that. And how we can access the element? We can access the element something like mp.first or second. Okay, that we are going to be doing now. So let us try to run the code, basically write the code. So for this, what we are going to be doing is, I am just going to be running a normal for loop, that is index based for loop, and then we'll be doing something like this: s dot size I++, and then we are just going to be writing mp of s of I++, as simple as that. I'm just going to be printing and showing you, and then I'll be explaining what I'm doing, and I'll be just writing AutoX in our map. I'm just going to be printing x dot first, and then x dot some spaces, and then x dot second, and then let's try to run the code and see now. So you can see the frequencies we are getting as we expected. So you can see We have string, this one. We have created a map which stores key value pairs versus characters that we have here. We have integers that we have here. One thing you can notice is the characters are in ascending order, or basically sorted, as we are using map. Map uses self-balancing binary search trees at the back. Okay, so that's why we are getting ordered values. If you are using hashing, in that case we will not be getting ordered. Okay, so let's try to run the code and basically see what we are doing here. Okay, so basically if to store the values in this map, we can use something like this: mp of 2, or basically in this is we have characters, so we can write mp of a equals to 1, mp of b is something as 2, something like this we can write. But here in this case what we are writing, mp of s of I, which means the characters which is present at s of I, that is a. Then s of 0 is a, s of 1 is b, s of 2 is c, like this it goes on. Okay, and then we are using plus plus to increment the values, to increment the value. For example, we have something like mp of a as 1 now, but again whenever a is appearing, it is going to be incrementing this, so a1 will become 2, like this. Okay, so you can see a appeared 2 times, b appeared 2 times, c2 3, d3, e 1 time. Okay, so that is how we are going to be running this. Now suppose if we just want to print the values which appears greater than 1, or basically greater than 1, so what we are going to be doing, we are just going to be checking here. We are going to be putting one check that if we have something like if x dot second is greater than or equals to 2, or basically let us try to print the values which is greater than 2. Okay, which means only the one value. In that case only we are just going to be printing this. So you can see we are getting only the one value which is repeating more than 2 times, which is 3, which is d3. D appeared 3 times, so that's why we are printing that. If we are putting equals to sign, okay, and then printing the values, you can see we'll be getting a, b, c and d 2, 2, 2, 3 times. Okay, all these values are there in this case. Okay, so till now if you have any questions regarding any problems that we have solved today, we have solved 4 problems. First was simply reversing a string, then we have checked rotation or not, we have talked about palindrome, then we have talked about how we can find the frequencies or basically duplicates characters in the string. Okay, so that is what we have discussed today. If you have any doubt, you can ask now. And suppose if instead of writing this map, if we use unordered map, okay, so that is basically hashing. In this case we can access the elements in order of 1, because hashing help us to do operation of insertion, deletion and insert, update and delete, insert, find, delete. All this operation can be done in order of 1 in that case. Okay, so let's try to run the code. And one thing we can observe, that whenever we are trying to print the values, and we are going to be writing that, so you can see the order, there is no order basically. Okay, there is no order present in this case whenever you are trying to run the code. So that is basically because we are using hashing now. Unordered map is basically uses hash map at the back, so that's why we are getting there is no order in this case. Okay, so that is the thing which we have seen here. So now for you, what one task is that you need to try rotating a string, basically reverse a string using recursion. Okay, if you know recursion, I'll be just giving this as an test in which you need just to reverse a string using recursion. Okay, so basically Arjun is telling what is map. So map is nothing but key value pair. Okay, a set of key value pair. So you can see we have this key, this value. Okay, if we want two values to be associated with each other, okay, for example a roll number and marks. For example, roll number 1 is getting 2 marks, roll number 3, for example, let us take that example itself here in this case. So suppose we want to store the values of the roll number and the marks. So in that case, I'll not be taking characters, I'll be taking integers. Okay, integer comma integer. Now in this case, what we'll be doing is I'll be just removing this, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be writing empty of roll number 1 is 99. Roll number 1 has got 99. Roll number 2 has got 80 marks, or basically 80 marks. Let us keep that. Roll number 3, MP of 3 has got 100 marks, full marks. Okay, so now this is key value pair. The key is roll number, value is marks. Now we want to print the values. So we know this for loop which we have seen. Basically it is for each loop, and for accessing the MP, for accessing the keys here, how we are going to be access that? We are going to be writing mp dot first. Mp dot first. Basically mp is the whole map, but in that if you want to access, you can write something like x dot first, x dot second, like this. And in order to traverse, you can use this x here. Okay, and let us try using normal map instead of another map, and try to run the code and see the output. So you can see we are getting the values as this one: 1 for 99, 2 for 80, 3 for 100. Okay, so that's what we are getting here. So that is key, that is value which we have seen. Now we know how we can access the element. We can always make different types of for example, if we want, we can make characters, and we can make strings also. Let us try using string and see what will be the output for that, if we are getting that or not. This will be example, or basically if you remember this, let us try to run the code and see. We'll be getting string associated with the marks. So in this all this thing, what you can do is you can put the name of this. Okay, you can put something like Arjun. Okay, very. So you can see we are using x dot first and x dot second to get the values here. Okay, so here we can say something as Mayank. Okay, and whenever we are trying to run the code, you can see we'll be getting something like this. And one thing is that it is basically sorted. You can see it is lexicographically sorted. Mayanks come first, then Mohan, then last is Mohan, right? Correct. So that is how we are going to be using map. Now don't take too much on map, try to solve our problems from strings, and by the next class when we are going to be running, okay, whenever we are going to be solving some problems tomorrow strings, okay, then we'll be talking about more than that.
Hello everyone, this is Mohan Bishnoi from Geeks4Geeks, and there is a small announcement to make. Actually, we are going to be starting a stream on strings that is going to be happening from Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 p.m. In this stream, we will be discussing about from very basics, we will be covering the topics in strings that are important for interview preparations, and then we will be moving to the advanced question. So do join us 3 to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. Hello everyone, this is Mohan Bishnoi.
So that's it for this stream. Thank you for watching the stream. Tomorrow we'll be meeting same place, and we'll also be solving some problems related to the strings, and we'll be trying to cover more advanced and little beginner problems. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. We meet tomorrow same place, same time.